The one time I try to beat the Matic, I end up being Mafia on vacation. Button Men is a two-player card game putting you and your opponent against each other in a quick-out dice battle. This can be done in 5 minutes or less by beginning the game by selecting a character, rolling dice, and using those dice to battle your opponent's dice. You'll be doing this by capturing the lower number via power or skill attacks. It's a neat two-player game because of its pacing and accessibility. The game comes with your Button Men cards, dice equipment, and on the back side of the car is lore to drive the story a little bit. There's a variety of dice ranging in white and black, varying from D4 to D20. I'm pretty sure this is exactly how you're supposed to play the game, but I like to pretend that I made it up myself. I use the black dice to represent all the special abilities in the game, and the white dice to be the basic equipment in the game. So why don't we go ahead and check it out.
Comes with a rule book that's, kind of portrayed as a newspaper. It's pretty neat. Character cards, including the basic character, the West Side characters, who include poison dice, the Delta, which includes shadow dice, and then you have here over in the Uptown. Over in the Uptown, you got power dice, something like that. Or sorry, you have rush dice. And then, you have an entire collection of characters, each one having its own, that was an awful, wow. Okay, so each character having their own lore on the back. It's pretty cool. So everyone's pretty unique in this game. It also comes with a incredible amount of dice here. All sizing from 6, 4, 12, 20, right? Just depending on, as you can see, they correlate here, 4, 6, 20, and then you grab the 4, 6, and 20s. So let's get a game started here. So each player gets a character, and we're going to be playing with these two characters here, and then the rest are put aside. So go ahead and grab the dice correlating to each character, right? So I'm going to do this as fast as I can. That was so fast. You want to see me do it again? Okay. So I accidentally grabbed 4 and not 5 because the X allows you to choose any dice you want. Now this is a little bit of strategy here, because what's happening is because each character is taking dice from each other, whoever has the most dice is the most points. You can ask yourself, like, do I want to get a higher scoring die, right? Like a 20 or a 12, because maybe I can get a higher number outcome and possibly win? Or do I want to make sure that if in the case that I start losing, right, if my high numbered dice actually has a lower number, do I want to give them a low amount of numbers? So I'm going to go ahead for her, I'm going to give her just a regular 6-sided dice, right? Nothing too big, nothing too small. And then this character likes to go all out. I'm going to do another 20. So the rest of the dice go away. You roll them, as you see here, and this is the dice outcome. As you can tell right away, this character has a huge is gonna kill it. Like, obviously whoever is playing this character was not thinking correctly, because she really needed a 20 in there, because these are 8s. As if that never happened, the 12s are in place. So this is the roll. So let's get started, right? This character, she does have the shadow die, so that's pretty cool. What you could actually do is take numbers between two numbers instead of having to get like the highest number to win, right? So realistically, a 7 could take a 5, right? That's the power play. Or you could do a skill play where you add 2 together and get a, like, okay, so, this is a 4 on the 4 die. So you can add these 2 together to get that 4, because it's an exact amount. But since she has shadow dice, it's actually a little different. She could actually take anything between 3 and 6. So she's going to go ahead and do that with this dice here, to take this 5. That's 8 points, nice little boost, and then you're going to re-roll it. So now it's actually a bigger gap. It's 2 to 6. So that's pretty good. So this player, she Has no special, she's not from any parts of town that matter, but she is pretty strong here with the 16 and 17. She might not want to use those right away. She does have the 4 and 2. Let's add 4 and 1. That's 5, right? She can't really do anything with the 5 here. So she's just gonna be smart. She's gonna just take this 6 die, re-roll the 4. It's a 3. It's not that bad. What she should have done was use this 1 to take the 1 so she can get a higher score on her 4 die. But this keeps going. And as you can see here, it's kind of obvious like who's going to win now. Hers are way higher than hers, no matter what she tries. Even if she, okay, right. So she takes this, rolls. Yeah, 3. Still can't do anything. That's actually very lucky. But that's how it plays. Once everyone's dice are out, right? So it'll end up looking like this. You score everything up. These are full points, and these are half points if you keep your dice. And obviously, she unanimously won, huge amount of points over this person. So you just put them away, draw 2 new cards, and keep going. A couple things I want to go over. Of course, you have different types here. The poison dice are actually negative points, depending on the size. So if you keep it, it's full points negated from your points, or if you give it away, it's half points. This stealth, like I said, is between 2. And then the rush dice are a little different. So rush dice, you could actually take 2 dice with 1. So remember how most of the time, if you add these together, it's 8. So 8 can take an 8, right, from the opposing team. So it's actually the opposite. The 8 can take 2 dice adding together. So it's the opposite. Really easy.
I enjoy the simplicity of the game. The newspaper themed rulebook has more story-driven context than the actual game itself and how to play it. To break it down for you, large numbers beat lower numbers, and some dice have special abilities. These special abilities are determined by what part of the city they're from. Each character is unique with illustration, equipment, and lore to the story of this mafia world. There is always a winner, and everything is pretty straightforward. All you really have to maintain is which dice to use, which dice are specials, and how the game realistically plays out. Typically, games that carry a lot of different character cards, unique character cards, is kind of hard to follow because one, you probably have to memorize all that, then you have to learn the strategy to each one of them. And, of course that can mix up the pacing a little bit, but I really enjoy Buttonman because no matter how many unique characters there are, you already understand the concept and the mechanics behind each dice. All you have to know is which dice go to which character, which is all listed on the card as you saw earlier. You're just really getting down to the intuitive feel of look, roll, and attack. However, I really don't like how bulky the game is for a 2-player game. There's so many dice to carry around that it's just kind of hard to be like, oh, well, I want to carry all these cool little small games with me, but this game is just too big because of all the dice. But that's more of an appealing situation. It doesn't actually affect the gameplay at all. It's just a matter of how it looks and how it carries. The gameplay itself is great. It's just the size of the game is what would probably make me second guess if I want to bring it out. Another reason I'd sit and contemplate is because of the balance with characters. I'm not really sure if there is a strategy to this game beside the minor skill attacks to press your reroll luck. But that's just it. The game's luck. You may roll an entirety of 1s and 2s no matter what the size, or you may roll a bunch of higher numbers. And the problem is, once you get the other player lower than all of your dice, you're consistently just collecting, and the other one's just sitting back and watching. And I would like to call that the unfortunate meh of the game. It's just the fact that the unbalanced situations can really leave one player just sitting and waiting. But of course, the game runs pretty quickly, so they won't have to sit for too long. My final thoughts, it's great for its quick gameplay and lore, diving into these busy streets of dice rolling. With so many unique characters and unique stories, the replay value is there. Multiple rounds can create a sense of urgency to win when you take into consideration your KDR. I do think the game is too luck heavy and most games already have a winner or loser by the first roll, but hey, I'm still playing it to this day. So that speaks volumes, I'm sure. But if you like this, let me know what you think. Go ahead and like it, leave a comment, some feedback, some criticism. You hate it, I don't care, I want to know.